Morning. I assure you it's May. I'm both doing outdoor sockets, outdoor lights, and yet again it is raining. Whoever said the life of an electrician is easy, they're lying. Really gonna have to keep up with the shave. Anyway, another day, another job. This is a good one. Here we are, we're doing some lights now. So we're replacing some lights in this garage and also doing some lights outside. So I'll just turn you around and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so here we are. So this garage has just that light there. You might be able to tell it's not a well lit garage. So we've got that light along there, you can see where the cable's going, and we've got one switch there, and we have another switch on the far side over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to brighten this up a bit, and we're going to put in some metal things, you know, metal saddles, they're the ones. Just to get this to conform nicely, and we're going to take the two switches out. We're just going to have a PIR, a infrared PIR. I'll find it. It's here. There it is. So one of them we're going to stick up on in the middle. Actually, we're going to stick that where that light is. And what we've chosen to put in are, after my experience with JCC with the bathroom light, I've decided to go with JCC's quick release sky packs. Two of these, if I remember right, they're 6 foot. I'm 5'7", and that's taller than me, so it's probably 6 foot. So yeah, so we've got two of those in on those battens. So like I say, get rid of the switches, put the infrared in the middle. We've then got to run a junction box. We've got a 1.5 already terminated there, which I've done earlier. That is running right up there behind that wall. I've just done all my tests on that, so that's all fine. That wasn't done by me, that was laid by the landscaper, so that's all been done for me. So I will show off how to gland off those with storm glands in another part of the video. So it's a lot of work to do, not the least of which is rerouting this wiring in here. There's going to be some bulkhead lights going on the far side of this wall, so I've got to go through the wall with some more of this cable. It's a 6 amp lighting circuit, 1.5. It should be more than enough to do what we want to do. I'm not too concerned about that really. Anyway, so we'll get these lights unpacked and we'll get them positioned. I think I'm going to position them. Oops, that's fallen over that. So you can see where the garage doors are fitting. I don't think there's any point putting them there or there, because the light will just bounce off the garage door when it's open. So I am considering putting one on that one, and then one on the second beam in there. I think I'm going to have to. I don't know yet. I'm going to have a think about how we do that. Running them the other way, I just don't think will work. I just don't think the wiring will look nice. But we'll see. Plan A never works. Okay, been trying to work out a way of actually trying to mount this light on my own. This is 6 foot long. So I've come up with this little idea. This light is bang centre on the centre line of the garage. So I've used a piece of string to just support that mounting. It's a little bit off centre, so I'm just going to move it over a little bit. and then I'm going to use the screws then to secure it into place. So that works. It's not heavy. I'll show you how the other light comes apart and how it all goes together again a bit later on. I want to get that one mounted in that position there, and then we'll do the same at this end. I just thought I'd show you that. Maybe not the best way of doing it, but there's no one else in the room, so it's not going to hurt anybody except me if it fell down. So we'll get that up and secured. Yep, so there's the first one up. You can see it's actually hanging down on those wires. I think you can just about see that. One there and one there. Really makes this nice and easy to fit. And there's some 20mm knockouts which I've just done for the cables, and it's all snap fit inside. But I'll show you how it all comes apart in just a second. Right, so here's one of these lights. You just press these together. It's not easy when you've got a phone. I'm going to put this over here. Maybe. So to release this spotlight fitting, you press those two there and there, and there and there. So here it is apart. So you can just separate the light fitting, take that off, release the earth. I've lost it. Just going to take that one off, and then clip that. That's all you have to do. Then you've got that mounting. It's completely separate, which you can then mount on the ceiling as I've shown earlier. Okay, so let's just do video recap of where we're up to. So as you can see, I've now positioned the infrared sensor which will control the lights there, stuffing gland. That light is now in place with the stuffing gland. This light is in place with its stuffing gland. Now, let's just recap how I might do this wiring. So, there's the board. All the cables for power sockets and things go up there, as you can see, going along here. So I'm going to take the power. I'm going to wire these lights up in two plate, but bear with me. So I'm going to run this cable along here. I'm going to reroute the cabling. So my thought is there's a switch there which is now redundant. I'm going to remove that, take out its cabling. Over here we have a switch, also redundant. I'm going to remove its cabling, which is, as you can see, nicely properly laid all the way across there. So I'll take that all out. So back to scratch on this. Run the cable along here. Now this same cable is going to control outside lights. As you saw earlier in the video, that SWA cable has already been laid. I've got to run got to fit a junction box there-ish. So I'm going to have to junction these junction box up there, then run a cable down to connect up. Actually, no, I'm not doing that because it's another IR light. So I'm going to run the cable. We'll run a cable all the way around here, and the IR light is the other side of that wall over there. Then I'm going to come back and connect up to the SWA there, which is then going into the garden's far lights. So here we're going to have a junction box issue there. So it's going to come along here, two plate method, because that's basically a switch. I'll do something there because the connections inside there are woeful, so I'll have to be creative. But anyway, cable comes in, cable goes out, probably, don't know yet, got to work it out. And then it's going to run along there into this light fitting, connect into there, then come back out again, along. So two cables coming out there, then that's going to come along there, all the way along there, round over there, and then finally end up in there. At least that's the plan. So, that's what we're going to attempt to do. As you can probably see outside, it's now dry now, but it was actually chucking it down a minute ago, so we can't do that. So, I'm probably going to yeah, I don't really want to leave the client without lighting because it's getting late in the day now. Unfortunately, due to various things, I started this job later than I would have liked. Anyway, the hardware's up, which is the main thing, and I've got an idea of how I'm going to put a circuit diagram together, I think, and then come back later this week and start ripping cables out and rerouting them all. I think that's the best thing I can do. Well, good morning everybody. You'll find me up a ladder today. I am back in the garage and I am now pulling out all these cables. Some of them I'm going to be able to reuse. I already know some of them I can't. So this is what we're doing this morning. So right, so I've already disconnected the cable over there and over there, and the middle light is gone. Lost it over there. So I'm going to start yanking these cables back and see which ones I can reuse. As you can see, it's all old wiring, so if I can, I'd like to update the wiring, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so today, boys and girls, we are putting in a double socket in this garage where we did those lights over there. Come to those in a minute. So we're going to put a double socket in so that they can run their exercise equipment. So we're going to put the double socket down there, about 5 bricks up. That's about 400mm, give or take. And then they don't have to run extension cables. So I've got to basically just rejig all this wiring here, because as you can see there's a 2.5mm cable just draped all the way along over there, and here's the socket over there. So after a bit of thinking, I'm on plan F I think now. Right, I've got those single cables coming up the wrong hole at the moment, so I'll rejig those so the switch does around. That tube then will only have the lighting circuit going up it. So I'm going to put my finger in, so it'll come up there. That there will just think it's around the other way. Okay. So power cable comes up there, along here, in white conduit down to the box. It's a radial circuit, so then we're going to have another conduit going straight up the wall to a junction box, and then it's going to connect to that 2.5 cable there, which is then going to go along there. So I'm going to cut that off, don't need that, bring it down, attach it to the rafters with some clips into the junction box. Why am I doing that? Because when I looked behind here and started disconnecting wires, the wires broke, which meant there wasn't enough wiring to do it all, so I'd have to rewire that section anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a junction box there, just hook the twin and earth into that junction box, singles down the conduit into this box down here. Bob's your uncle. Radial circuit redone. And the lights gone off. That is why that's why I'm having to come back to these lights, because that gadget doesn't work as we'd want it to. So what I'm going to do, that's going, pulling the cable back for that switch. I'm putting a Quinetics receiver over there and a Quinetics switch over there, two-way switching with the receiver in the switch there. Should have stuck to that in the first place. That was me being too clever, and it hasn't worked. Anyway, pleased with the lights. JCC, absolutely brilliant. Love those things. I'll be honest, JCC will be my light manufacturer to go to when I'm doing these sort of jobs. Loved it. Oh, we appear to have a clip gone. Where's that gone? Okay, that needs to be sorted out. That's a bit naughty. Oh, a bit of a metal clip's come off. Okay, well we'll do that later. Anyway, we'll get back to the socket. So we're carrying on, had a bit of a COVID scare, so my daughter at home. So we're back here again this afternoon. We're way behind on this job, but we're going to try and catch up now. As you can see, we've got a new toy. We've got a Stanley Cubics laser level, which we're using just to get this nicely lined up straight, which has worked really well. So that's where the new back box is going. That's going to curve off over here, so we're going to rearrange that in a minute. And then there's another conduit to go up to the roof and then head off in that direction. Okay, so after a bit of a false start today, we've actually finished this part of the job now. So just take you through what we've done. So inside the board we've separated the lighting and power circuit. So the lighting circuit now goes up that tube and across, and in that direction. Now the power circuit now goes slightly differently. So we've pulled the power cable from up there. So the power cable now comes up that conduit, bends off, comes down to the new socket, and then back up to a junction box, and is junction then to the old wiring which gets off down there. So in there it's all singles in that conduit, down there and up there, but it's 1.5 to an earth down there. It was actually 1 mil to an earth, which I've had to replace, so that's all had to be replaced. So most of the wiring in this garage has now been actually ripped out and replaced. But that I'm actually really pleased with. That's really come out nice and neat. That's a tad over the 400 mil from the floor, that socket, but I'm really pleased with that. Just so people know, that is a radial, goes down there to that socket, goes up there, and there's a socket far side, you can just see it over there. So that's a radial. So I need to commission it, I need to do all the testing now, because that's it's effectively what I've done now. I've done 2 new circuits, so I've got to commission both. So I will do that. Hence the reason why that I've got my new labels on the board, mixed wiring and inspection notices, and there'll be a circuit diagram, sorry, a circuit table will go up as well, which I will do as well. That pipe there is the original pipe that was here already, and it's all ski whiff now. I'm going to put a saddle on that and get that nice and neat, because that's ruining my work. So that's it for the day, and then back again tomorrow, and we'll see if we can try and catch up with the work. Okay, a little update on the lighting work and power work that we're doing. So as you saw earlier on, we've got all this sorted out to the power. What I've done today is I've got rid of that PIR, and I've done a bit more rewiring really. So here we have a junction box, and that's going down here. Well, that is going to the SWA outside, and that's going to go to the outside lights, and the power feed is coming along here, along here, and you see a new junction box, and coming out to the left of that will be a new power feed. That's going around here, and that is going out through the wall there to a light. But we've had to reinstate the switches, but what I've done is I've put the Quinetics switches in. So that is a Quinetics switch with a receiver in the back. So the power feed has come down to the lights. It's 2-plate method. Neutral together, earth together, line into common, line into switch line into L1, and the switch line has then gone. It's that lower line. I think it's the lower line. No, it's not. It's the upper line. The upper cable is going along here and into the JCC light, and then we've got a cable coming back out, back along here, which is the original cable I had, back along there, all the way along there, and into that light. You can see the PIR's gone. We'll get rid of that cable in a minute, neaten up the cables, and the Quinetics switch has been programmed to be a 2-way switch. So we'll just go over here, and I'll just show you. I've already paired it, so we'll just get the power back onto the light circuit. So trying to get round. So there's the Quinetics switch. Trying to climb over the ladder and press it, and the lights are on off. I've now pressed it to be off, and the other switch, the wireless one, is currently sitting on the floor here. Can you see that? And the lights are on. Lights are off. Lights are on. Whee! And off. So there you go. So that's all paired. That was dead easy to do, the pairing of those. So let's just switch those off because I need the power off while tidying up. So, shame I've got a black one there. I could have done with it being a white one really. I'm pleased with the way that's come out. It's really looking nice. As you can see, I'm going to mount that down here because I've got to, basically I've done 2 brand new circuits, so I'm going to put a circuit detail board up next to this. That'll be done in a minute. So I'm just going to tidy up, get those lights up, get the cellophane off, and then there are a couple of jobs left on this one left to do. I've got to run the cable along here for that light. I've got to connect up the SWA cable at both ends, and then there's a light going on the far side of the garden, and then I've just got to finish off the testing for the paperwork. I'm probably going to do an EIC with this rather than 2 minor works, to be honest, because there's been a lot more than just minor works. I've done a complete rewire. So yeah. Okay, so everything's been done. I'll just sort of go through this. So we've got all the new bits and bits. So that's the new extension to the radial, down to the new socket, up, and then it joins the old cabling which goes across the top there, which you can see. The lighting cable now goes up there. As you say, it all used to go back on there, but it doesn't anymore. In fact, what happens now is we have a remote Quinetics switch there, which pairs with the Quinetics switch on the other side, which I'll show you in a second. So the old wiring for the new lighting goes along there to that junction box. Then we've got the lighting circuit goes down there to the outside circuit. Then we've got the first cable going to the first JCC Skypack unit. Then we've got one of those quick connects in there to split all the power off. We've got that pipe there which you can't see, but it's actually going down to a junction box behind there. That's to an outside light that's the other side of the wall. Then we've got the cabling. I couldn't get conduit up there because I couldn't get the brackets to fit, so that's why it's clips, all metal clips, you can see. Yeah, I had fun and games trying to negotiate the wiring on that bit, as you can see. That's the neatest way I could do it. Junction box there, down to the Quinetics switch. It's one of the Quinetics switches with the inbuilt receiver. So then we've got these 2 cables coming along here to this light. This is the second one. And then we've got another cable coming out here because we have another outside light, so we've had to lay the cable along here, along there behind there, and then down to here. Now, the reason that was done like that, it might look a bit odd, but the brickwork in here is absolutely horrible to drill through, and it just crumbles. So I've had to do that because of what happened with the crumbling brickwork. So that's the reason why it's like that. I couldn't actually show you what happened when I drilled into it, but it's like, it's like trying to drill through sand. Anyway, so that's how that's all gone in. So it's all done, And we've got the 2 lights out in the back, both infrared lights. As I say, one's the other side of that wall, and the SWA cable, 1.5mm SWA cable, goes from that box on the outside out into the back garden. That was laid by the landscapers, which I think I mentioned earlier. So yeah, I think it's a really neat job. All done.